Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Today we're going to do the next 5 stages. This is pack 5, which is stages 17 to 21 of the Fanhome release of Build the Back to the Future DeLorean.
Are we back? We're back.
Okay, today is the ghost of me. This is AI me you see in here. I'm not actually here. As I mentioned yesterday, I'm at the NFL in Wembley watching the Jacksonville Jaguars beat, hopefully, the Atlanta Falcons. We'll have to see how that goes. But we finished doing the suspension yesterday. Today we are actually going to start working on the engine. We did that last time with the manual gearbox, which we've got here. So we are going to be building on to that today. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I've put a link down here and there's a QR code on the screen you can scan. If you follow those links, it will just let Fanhome know that you've come from the World of Wayne channel. But let's dive straight into it. Without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, so we're going to start with stage 17, and this is the magazine, and again we are building onto that transmission that we started in the last pack. So it's looking like this. So by the end, it's really coming together. We're going to build this engine up. The thing is, once the engine's built and we've got this reactor on top, you're never going to see it again. So take your time on this one. Let's move through the magazine so I can show you everything that's in here. Let's get started. So here you go. This is what's in stage 17. Let's get this open. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take these 2 items here. This is fully metal. This one's plastic. I'm just going to be putting this against this one here. So it's in this direction with the slope going towards this way. It's going to be held in with FP screws. And it takes 2 of these. So that's the sump completed. We can put that to one side. We're going to take the rear of the transmission case. Again, this is all metal. And bringing over the transmission that we were working on last time, this is just going to follow the shape of this in here. So these 2 parts are going to go together like that. Held in with DP screws. So that one's 1. And that one's 2. So we now need to take this section here, which again is metal. That's just going to follow the shape of this here, this way round into this section like that. And this time that's held in with DM screws. The instructions do say DP screws, but you are going into metal. So it's actually DP screws. In fact, DM screws, should I say. In fact, they don't actually provide any DP screws in this stage. So it's definitely DM screws. But there's 3 of them. And they're going in here like that. Now, you know what one of the big advantages of doing YouTube videos and doing videos on the screen is that when there's a piece missing, because I do have a solenoid here, which is going into, I believe, is it a starter motor? And this is what that looks like. I don't actually have the metal sheath that this goes in, which also goes into this end of the engine here, and it comes out this side here. So I'm going to have to order that. But this is what it looks like on the screen here. But I just had to stop recording to check my memory cards to see if it was in the box when I first opened it. It wasn't, so I'm pretty safe to assume that that piece is missing at the moment. Not to worry, we can still carry on. And to carry on, all we're going to do is take the sump that we created. This is just going to go on top just like that there. And it's going to be held in with JM screws. Get this in tight. So there's 1 there and 1 on the other side. Perfect. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 18 here, flick through the magazine. We've got some more sides of the engine and the manifolds that we're going to start putting on now. So when we've done that, it's going to look like this. And again, I will just continue going through the magazine. So it's looking just like that. So here's stage 18. Now you can see why I show you what's in the box, so I know if there is anything missing. And the first thing I want to do is take this side of the engine block. We're going to be putting the oil filter in. This is what that looks like. That's just going into the hole just here. So it's going to sit in like that, held in from the other side with an AP screw. So I've got that here. Let's just screw that in nice and tight. Excellent. That's the oil filter in place. Now I've got the fuel filter that looks like this. That's just going to go into the hole next to it. Tiny little part, this one. It has got a little keyhole pattern on, so it can only go in one way. So that's going to go in here. And once again, it's held in from the other side with an AP screw again. So get that loaded up and I can screw that in here. Perfect. Now we've got our first manifold to put in. That's just going into the holes at the top. So this is going to sit in just like that there. That's held in again with AP screws. 2 of them in here. And then we want to take the other side of the cylinder head, which we haven't worked on yet, and just put the other manifold into these points just here. So it's going to be going in, whoops, this way like that. And again, held in with AP screws. Perfect. Now we want the side with the oil and fuel filters on. That's going to go on this side of the engine here. So what's going to happen is it's going to go over these holes just in the middle here. Now when they're over the holes just like that, I can still get to that hole for the missing part that I had in the last stage. So don't worry too much about that. But I'm going to be holding this into place with 2 DM screws. So this is the first one going in here. You do want to make sure that A, this is in really tight. That's why I'm using my PH1 screwdriver. And B, that it does fit flush inside that lip there. So it looks like that from that side there. Let's get the other DM screw in there. So that's in, and we're just going to do exactly the same on the other side here. So they're both in now, looking like that. We've just got to put a back on now. And that's the last piece that we've got here looking like this. This is all metal as well. That's just going to go on top there. And again, DM screws into the 2 holes just down the bottom. And with that in place, that is all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 19 here, again, flick through the magazine. We're going to be doing the water pump, hoses and pipes, getting all of this together. So once this is in place, we've got this little unit here. And again, I will just flick through the rest of the magazine because that's what I've been doing on this build. Excellent. Now in stage 19, check this out. Look, they gave us some tweezers. So if you don't own some tweezers, they come in this stage. I do have my own one, so I'll put them to one side. And the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to be fastening the water pump here to some of the hoses. So these 2 sections are just going to go together like that. It's held in with an AP screw. There's no need to open anything. I've still got AP screws left over from the other stage. So I'll get that in. Then we've got another part of the engine here, which is all metal. This is going to be going on top of that. So just make sure it's round this way. And these 2 sections here are just going to go into the ends there and there like that. They're held in from the underside again with AP screws. So that's that pipe in. And we've got this other pipe now to put in, which is going to go into the hole at the back of the water pump there. Get that in there. And when it's pushed in, which can be a little bit of a push, it's going to mount to the mounting points on the metal engine there. They're held in with AM screws. And there's 3 of these to put in. We're then going to fix the auxiliary air pipe, which looks like that. That's just going to go into this point here. It is a keyhole pattern. So this is held in with an AM screw as well. I'm going to give you some advice. Be very careful of this once this is installed, because I think in my original build I actually snapped this off. Didn't mean to, but there you go. That's a little bit loose. Let me just tighten that up a touch. Not too tight though. You don't want to break the plastic. There we go. That's in perfect. And then all we're going to do is just put a pipe here just onto the top nipple of this auxiliary pipe, which there we go, I've got that in, and that is all there is to do in that stage. So the penultimate stage here, stage 20, again flicking through, looks like we've got some more manifolds to put in place here. So when they're done, it's going to look just like that. We really are building onto this section now. And again, here is the rest of the magazine. Excellent. And all we need to do is take these two parts here. I'm going to do this on the top camera, I think. And then we've got these parts of the manifold, or part of the intake manifolds, just to go above each section. So one here, like that. And then one next to it. And then one further down. They're actually held in with AP screws, so I'm going to do one at a time. So easiest way to do that is get the M1 in first. I haven't made it too tight. Then put the other end in on this side. That's going to make this a rigid unit then. So it'd be easier to put the middle one in. So one in this side here. And again, just do the other side. And then once you've got these in place, just tighten them all up. That's that one in. And now it's quite rigid to actually just put the middle one in now. It's going in there. Perfect. And all I'm going to do is tighten them all up. So we're now going to be putting this section onto these bases here. Now you want to make sure that these are the right way round. So when we put these on, if this is going on here, we want to make sure that this section here is facing the inside. So that there is on the wrong side. I want that on that side. So this bit here is on the inside. So AP screws then. Got one loaded up here just to get that in. We need two of these. So one and two. And then we're just going to do exactly the same with the other base here. Again, making sure when it's on that these two parts, which I'm just trying to find here, there and there, are towards the inside. And again, AP screws to keep that into place. All we're going to do with those two marks I just says, this is the water pump. We're going to be putting this on top of the section we've created here. So I'm just going to get this lined up. So it fits in like that. Turn it over, and I'm going to hold this in place here with AP screws. And it takes 6 of these, so probably best to come back when I put all 6 of these screws in place. And this is the last screw going in here. So that's now fully in place, and that's all there is to do in that stage. So the very last stage of this pack, stage 21, as you can see here, some more parts of the cylinder heads by the look of it here. So we're going to get that into place, so it's looking like this. It gets mounted to the engine as well. And there's the rest of the magazine. In the next stage, we've got more parts of the engine to do. Okay, to start this stage, we've got a couple of cylinder heads here. The first thing I want is this one here, and as you can see, we do have a locating lug. That's going to dictate which way round it goes, so it can only go in one way. It goes in that way there. Going to hold that in with some FP screws, and we need 2 of those, so get these in here. One this side. Oh, probably going to need my bigger screwdriver, my PH1 for this one. That will get them in tight. Excellent. And just one on the other side. Put that whole thing, once that's done, to one side and bring over the other cylinder head, because we've got to put some details onto this now. The first one is this one here that's got a cover just like that. That's just going to go into 2 holes there. It's held in with 2 AP screws. And that's that in place. We're then going to do the oil filler cap, which looks just like this here. That's going onto this section here. It has got a keyhole pattern, so it's going to go in like that. That's held in again with an AP screw. I'm going to be bringing up this now, which looks like the alternator to me. And I've got this section here just to put into the end. And once again, it's going to be held in from the inside with an AP screw. And that is perfect. So I've got this surround now to put around the alternator. So it's just going to go in this way, probably best on the top camera. So it's underneath there. And again, held in from the top with AP screws. And this one's too. And as you can see, that's what that looks like when it's mounted. And then on the cap side here, we're going to be putting the other one of these in. So again, this way round. It's going to go underneath, and AP screws to hold that in. So we'll go back to this one that we created first. Bring that over to the cylinder head that we're working on, and this one is just going to be going into the first hole on the side just there like that. That's held in with an AP screw. And then on this side at the top, probably best on the top camera, another AP screw just to keep it held in on the top there. Just like this. And then the last one to put in is just over here. So again, the same way, it's going to go in this way. And AP screws just into this side and the side at the top there. And that one's too. There we go. We have created the alternator. Perfect. We can now mount this to the other side that we had this one on here. Just get that lined up. And once again, FP screws to keep that into place. And now that is looking like that. And now the fun bit, we get to put this onto the engine. So this is going to go this way with the alternator at the back away from the gearbox here, so that's going to fit in just like that there. It's held in with 2 DM screws. Now a bit of advice to you, it may feel like the screws aren't going in. What you actually need to do is load your screwdriver up, get it in the hole and then push down really hard and you'll feel it bite. But there you go, that's those in place there. That's not going anywhere, and that is all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. And there you go, take a long hard look at that engine, because as I said, when the reactor's on top of it, you're never going to see it again. I still have got room to put that starter motor in. Fanhome have been brilliant for that. That's actually on its way now, so I will install that in the next pack when we got that coming. But I really do hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.